Hey folks, it's John here, checking in now that we're in our 60s. I was looking into our initial release date on CastBox, and I realized the pod's reached some maturity, coming up to a year old now. While we may seem like we're just winging it every single episode, and while we kind of are, a lot of nourishment goes into this baby. There's a lot of work on all of our parts, most of all Adam. The reading, recording, editing, sound work, website work, flexing on social media, and constant contact with our listener base has turned this passion project into something living and breathing. As we progress, I have no doubt we'll reach that point where maybe this pod gets that spark of gray in its beard and wisens up a little to the folly of its youth. That being said, while the pod is maturing, the Epic Tracer crew is anything but, as we last saw in the madness of episode 60 against some strategic Aslanti. In that same vein, it seemed appropriate to finalize my little project as we near the end of Book 3 of Against the Aeon Throne with another lore drop. That's right, folks. It's the abusive aggressors, the zenith of zealotry, the dreaded Aslanti. As you might remember in the previous discussion, the Aslanti were primitive people that were genetically and culturally engineered under the cunning grasp of Algolthus, ancient, otherworldly beings on Galarian. After a great time had passed, these people soon became as powerful as their foreign masters, or so they thought. Advances in technology allowed the interaction with portals, which by happenstance created the first pioneers to a foreign world when these trailblazers were severed from their homeland when the portals disabled entirely. In that time, we closed on the chapter of Aeonastria, the governess of the budding colony of New Thespera, a cradle for the now spacefaring Aslanti. Now, without the corrupting influence of those mysterious malefactors, the Aslanti were capable of writing their own destiny. But there is still plenty in between going from A to Z. Over the course of several millennia, the Aslanti expanded throughout their star system, reaching every celestial body that orbited their home star, Aristia. Then they reached a crossroad. How could they achieve their great purpose if they were limited to only the one star system? Were they only survivors of a lost age of a lost people, their golden age come and gone? Regardless of how brilliant any generation of scientists were, space was vast. The journey was too great, the price too costly. So there they remained. At least that's what pre-gap records claim. Of course, any time during the gap was lost to those mysterious influences. It was only until post-gap that records slowly surfaced through whispers and tales of a powerful artifact called the Aeon Throne, the symbolic and legitimate seat of the ruling house designed to harness the unbridled power of Aeon stones. This discovery led to other discoveries. An imperial dynasty, a mysterious new Aeon stone adorning the throne uploaded with the blueprints for drift travel, and of course, the Aslanti's revitalized great purpose. Within a decade after unraveling the means of drift travel, the Aslanti expanded their territory to include 12 star systems, as well as established colonies and outposts on 20 planets. Of the throne's line of occupants, official records state the current dynasty's founder, Ixamander I, created the Aeon Throne when he was crowned Star Imperator 1,777 years ago, and his lineage has ruled uninterrupted since. The current Star Imperators, yes, plural, are the twin siblings Aeon and Iridella. From there, the imperial family hold the title of Prept, which are mostly ceremonial in function. Outside of the imperial family, the highest title an Aslanti noble can achieve would be the title of Archidus, which would be a hereditary ruler of a single star system. Benefits include small ancestral lands on New Thespera and a planet or two as their personal estates. One rung down, we have the Exarchs, who would be considered military governors. Think something like Admiral of the Imperial Fleet. Exarchs oversee any newly conquered system or area of great strategic importance. While they enjoy the same privileges of an Archidus, they, however, are not inherited like nobility. As of current year, there are 9 Archiduces and 2 Exarchs, ruling over the 11 other star systems. Beneath Archiduces and Exarchs are the Duxilars. These would be the hereditary holders of individual or multiple planets. Since not all worlds are equal in resources, the influence of various Duxular is also disproportionate. Finally, at the bottom, we have the titles of Sardot and Dominus, respectively. That's right, Sardot is this low on the list. Being that Archduces rule star systems, Duxulars rule planets, the logical leap would be that Sardot are hereditary rulers of moons, major space stations, or possibly a large territorial province on a planet's surface. Below even that would be the Dominus, who would rule over moonlets, smaller provinces, minor space stations, or asteroids. Since there are many nobles and many planetoids and space habitats in the various star systems, there is no shortage of Dominuses. I wonder how our favorite Sardot feels about this power structure. Well, there you have it, folks. A condensed history into the Aslanti and the role they play in this adventure path. So what do we have at the end of all of this? Are these guys a hardy group of survivors and everyone should just be thankful they brought the light of civilization to Galarian and tragically became aggressive xenophobes? Or are they just a bunch of blowhards with superiority complex and a love for crowns? With that, I hope our story has helped you raise your own questions, and I know we would love to hear them in the STF Discord. In the meantime, stay entertained with the latest episode, keeping it on the download.
Well, some of us have had some extra time on our hands. And so what I'd like to ask is, I know that most of you are video game players of some sort. So what have you been playing to keep your time filled while you've had some extra hours not at work? Now, not all of you I know are at home, but some of you.
I guess I'll go first. Doom Eternal. Mm-hmm. As of recording this, it comes out at midnight tonight, so haven't touched it yet, but oh boy, am I super excited for it.
So what you're saying is by the time that people do hear this,
oh yeah,
you've beat it and started it on hard mode?
Probably, yeah.
Sure.
The new Call of Duty Battle Royale is surprisingly excellent, which I'd be more than happy to play with anybody who's listening, because it doesn't matter what you're playing on, everybody plays together, which is really cool.
Nice. That Ori and the Will of the Wisp was pretty good, man.
Yeah, dude, that's been incredible.
Did you watch him play it?
I watched him play like probably 10 hours of that bad boy.
Did you try to play it?
No, I'm bad at side scrollers. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because I'd be really surprised if you had gotten too far in that, because that's just not your jam.
But I've thought about it. I've thought about giving it a shot because it looks so much fun.
You said probably 10 hours. Like, isn't that game like 13 hours long?
Yeah, he's watched most of it.
Okay.
What about
you, Heath?
Man,
Hey,
I'm not the one calling the shots. Hey,
you're not the host of this show, Josh.
look, man, I'm trying. Okay.
We tried.
I know. Stop it. Love you,
time.
Heath.
what?
What are you playing?
Man, I'm fucking falling apart over here. Lay off me. I got my wisdom tooth pulled yesterday, and my Achilles tendon's about to fucking rupture and have my foot fall off. And I got the sniffles.
Heard of those games.
Those aren't games. Because I feel like shit, I've been going back to what I consider the chicken noodle soups of my gaming life. Civilization, any of them, but I've been playing 6 like a motherfucker. I just got a religious victory with Sparta. And Skyrim. I like.
Oh, you pivoted because you were going for with Sparta. You told me you were going for
Domination.
Domination.
Yeah.
I took over all but 2, and my religion was just strong enough that when I conquered the third to last person, it just pushed me over the edge. It was
So you got a religious domination.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yikes.
Okay. John, what are you playing?
Man, I ain't playing shit, dude. I've been covering for people.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, as far as the only thing I've been doing, like maybe I'll watch like an episode or 2 of like Castlevania because season 3's come out and it's pretty dope.
I finished it the other night. I finished season 3. Yeah.
It's fucking great, man. Just
I really like that was okay. Look, I know we're way off base now, but Adam, you just gonna have to roll with it, man. We're here. We're doing it. We're doing it live. The plot lines that I expected to be interested in, I was not interested in, and the plot lines that I expected to not be interested in were my favorite ones of the season.
Okay,
And,
fair enough. I think I know what you're talking about on this.
When
now.
you
I need to finish season 2.
Same.
Same.
We'll
it's
finish
all
season
very
2
good.
because season 3 is better.
Yes.
Okay.
Good to know.
Emily, are you playing any games?
Yeah, I much like Heath am kicking it back kind of old school chicken noodle soup style. And I've been replaying Breath of the Wild.
Oh,
nice.
good one.
Because I can like play it while I'm snuggled in bed with like all my animals, which is great.
That's fun.
But also, Josh loaned me a game a bit ago, Catherine Full Bodied. And
good.
I'm kind of like replaying that because I wanted to romance this one particular Catherine that I liked more than the other Catherine that I had sex with before. So
Yeah, I'm nodding my head like I know what I understand.
That's a porn game, right?
But
No.
I also not going to follow that up with any questions.
That's a game on
I'm glad
Switch, right?
I'm glad you're enjoying your chicken soup game.
Yeah.
That sounds nice playing Call of the Wild with your fur buddies. Like all
Breath
right.
of
Breath
the
of the
Wild.
Breath of the Wild, buddy.
It's okay. I appreciate it. I love you, Adam. It's fine.
I can always count on you guys to immediately
Jump at
What, show you your age?
Man, I'm sitting in the wings waiting to correct
Excuse me,
Always.
Boomer. It's Breath of the Wild. I love you. I'm sorry.
We do. We tease you because we love you.
John, it's on PS4 and PS3
Oh, okay.
and
gotcha.
PC for the base game. Full bodies PS4.
Well,
only.
I mean, I'm over here just playing
Yeah.
Tetris, so I don't know.
Dude, I
play
love
the
Tetris. Actually,
new,
Adam, something you need to check out if you like some Tetris. Download
God.
Tetris Effect. It's a newer version of Tetris that's
I
like
tried
music
to play it.
reactive.
I didn't like it.
It's
God,
newfangled.
it's so good.
I don't like these newfangled kids Tetris. Just give me the old school blocks and 8-bit Russian music. I've been playing Divinity Original Sin 2 and fucking love it. Like, the hype is real about that
Man,
fucking game.
I'm gonna get it if I ever get paid again.
You're never going to get it.
I might not.
I have one rabbit real quick, and then I'll let you do your thing. Every time I hear the word divinity, I immediately start thinking of like Christmas.
Because of candy?
Like, yeah, the candy. Like, that's what that only
It's the
means in my
original
brain.
sin. That's the
Everybody
follow-up
just
name
take
of
a
the
deep
game.
breath. Everybody just take a deep breath. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
The game's called Divinity
Nah,
Original
fuck
Sin.
that.
Yeah, oh no, we
I,
did it.
I didn't know that. That's
Emily
how I was
didn't get it.
lost. I was
Oh.
lost. Oh, okay.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Josh. All right.
Oh, this is broken. This whole thing is broken.
I'm glad that I'm not the only one that's like real fucking off today.
Oh man, there's
'Cause all
so
y'all are.
I have so much
Okay, well
dick
that's
wheel.
great because there's gonna be tons of information that's important to you delivered in this episode.
gonna
so
be fine.
I can't wait till you guys miss over all the key plot points. It's gonna be great.
Man, it'd be amazing if this was all recorded or something. You know, we could go back and listen to
Okay,
it.
like you guys go back and listen to these episodes.
Fuck off. I do all the time.
Heath, what did I tell you? If what I'm saying doesn't apply to actions that you do, I'm not talking about you.
But you're talking to the group. Like,
Right.
that's
You
what
did say
you're doing.
you guys.
Okay.
The royal.
All right.
It ain't all about you.
The royal, you guys. The royal y'all.
Okay. Well, that's great because there's going to be tons of information that's important to you delivered in this episode.
The royal, you guys. The royal y'all.
So I can't wait till you guys miss over all the key plot points. It's going to be great.
Man, it'd be amazing if this was all recorded or something. You know, we could go back and listen to it. And speaking of royal, the royal Aslanti.
Josh, you're not the host of this podcast.
All right, let's
You're
wipe
right.
it. Let's wipe
But
it.
you're
and
Emily's
start
gone.
over.
Wipe it. Yep. Everybody's some wash.
Everybody just spray some Lysol on it. This shit's
All right, kill
Oh,
us.
make this like the
contaminated.
rest of my life.
Okay. Yes. I don't know if there's any Royal Aslanti right here, but there is a particular Aslanti Royal that you guys are trying to ruin his day by being here. And the latest thing that you've done in that is killed 3 of his security Aeon guards in a pretty crazy fight on the catwalk. I thought that was a fun fight.
I
John?
enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was cool.
I enjoyed Emily's pole vault attempt.
Hey, man.
That was
was
solid.
great.
Yeah.
I
what
want
I'm
to
here
know
for.
about that loader.
Yeah, I know. I
We
figured
can
that's
tell.
probably the first place that you're going to go. But I will say, Ziva, as much shit as I gave you last time for attempting that, yeah, please do that more often. I mean, you got to get the checks, but I thought it was a hilarious and creative idea. And if you had rolled a natural 20, how dope would that have been? It would have defied all logic and physics, but
it'd have been
nonetheless.
dope. It'd have been
would've
dope.
been
Those are more
awesome.
like guidelines.
I feel like I've pulled back on stuff like that a little bit as I've matured more in my TTRPG career, because when we used to play 5e all the time, I just frustrated Adam to no end trying to do shit that's not in the rules. So for
Yeah,
like
it was
a
more
year,
particularly you try to do things that are like specifically a feat, or like you have to like spec into doing it. And I was like, no, you can't just do that.
But
let
he
me
would
know.
try
Run.
to phrase it in a way that, like,
Yeah, that
he would try
sounded
to
like-
linguistically get around the actual language of the feat, but accomplish the
Sophistry.
same thing,
Right.
Clever
which was
boy.
clever.
He was very clever and creative on that. There's a couple times that it paid off for him. Every now and then I'd let him try it if I thought it was particularly inspired.
oh yeah, well that's why eventually I just played a druid. So it's like, fuck you, I can do all the creative shit in the world.
Yeah, that's like if you really want to irritate a GM that's not letting you do things, play a druid.
Oh my gosh, an animal
just-
summoning druid at that. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Eagles,
And
man.
speak to every animal that you see. It's like, hey DM, tell me what a squirrel is thinking. Go
he
for
had
it.
me try to voice a chicken. A chicken.
That was
A crow.
hilarious.
Wow.
A crow.
Well,
last Friday.
I do think we probably should get into this game, but I'm
Okay,
having such a
fine.
good time just talking to you guys. Let's just
They
spend the
don't
next
even
hour.
care about the plot, man. They're not here for the plot.
All right. So yeah, you guys are here at the catwalk. 3 dead Aeon guards, one of which is crumpled into a heap because he was punched off a 20-foot balcony and slammed into another balcony. But you guys are, let's see, Mike, you're up on the catwalk, right? Ziva, you're below it. And Fel, Zeno, and Orin are all in the hallway, and Sedona's kind of in the back healing herself. And that's where we're going to start.
Cool. So how about that loader?
Yeah. Everyone, there's a loader back there.
Yeah, I think we missed out on that one. Let's go check it out.
I'm gonna rifle through some Aslanti pockets first.
Yes.
Are you? That's
Yeah.
a good idea, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
Ziva's
give a
gonna
shit
hit the
about
one
that
on the
loader.
ground.
Was there a loader in their
that's-
pockets? Because
No, they're just happy
Or
to see
You
us.
just happen to see me. Yeah.
It's like 2 set up. You got everybody on that one, Josh. Nice job. There you go. So they have the typical stuff. They have their AG assault rifle and the Thunderstrike gauntlets. There is another incendiary grenade.
mine.
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 And then there's also on the crumpled up one a little folded piece of paper tucked into his armor pocket.
Okay.
I read it. I assume Mike's doing the one on the bridge. The one's up. Sorry. Ziva was gonna.
Yeah. So yeah.
The crumpled ones would have to be me or Fel or Zeno Reed, right?
Oh, I thought y'all went
Yeah.
down to the loader.
No, I
It
mean we're
doesn't
just
matter.
we're just
You
fucking
guys-
Oh,
around. man.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Sorry.
collectively,
Somebody reads
you
it.
open the note. No, everybody holds a little piece of the paper and opens it.
We tear it into fifths, and then everybody puts it together.
And you see just a phrase scribbled in it in Islanti that says, "Where's the coffee?"
Oh my god.
Okay. Nobody writes a
Useless
note.
fucking information, or
Nah.
it'll crumple that bitch up.
No,
Is there a signature?
That's surely a code, right?
Surely a door pass or like passphrase or something.
Sorry,
Could be,
sorry.
yeah.
And he tries to smooth the paper out and like hand it to Fel. Like,
Sorry,
like,
guys.
I'm sorry about that.
I love that Arin immediately was just like, some Aslanti passed another Aslanti a note to ask him where the coffee was. Like, just ask, bro.
That's where his mind went.
Is there anything that Ziva could roll, like, as far as culture or skilled linguist that might maybe
What type of information are you trying to glean?
to discern, like, is this a code, and if so, like,
I mean,
or is I don't know.
I don't think that there's any amount of culture or linguist. I mean, you can read it, and that's all it says on there. So there's no extra context there. It just says, "Where's the coffee?"
Don't worry.
It's not like that's not something that's like the Aslanti are known for using as a passphrase or anything.
Well,
like that. It's not in the history books.
Emily's brain was working like one word means something in this language, but it means something else in another language thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean,
I went too deep.
No. I mean, I get you. You're trying
Cryptography,
to see if it's a cipher or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think without something else to compare it to, there would be no.
Right.
Just whenever we get to the painting of the fat lady at the Gryffindor common room, remember that's the password.
We'll find out
got
where the
it.
coffee is. All right.
Okay. But that's all that's on them.
What were you saying about a loader, Zeno?
Well, I kept failing a perception check back there, so I figured we would go ahead and.
The hell is a perception check?
I don't know,
well,
but
never you
I
mind.
think I'm pretty good at it.
I mean, I look and I see. Like,
He's an android. He just speaks differently. he has to run.
he's running
software.
a process.
No, it's
Yeah.
what it is he's the chief financial officer for the APA. Like, every time he sees you do a good job, like seeing your surroundings, like, he remembers to write a check. I'm gonna write him a check later.
Yeah,
So-
he docked himself for a couple checks for the perceptions last.
Yeah.
So wait,
I'm
how
fair.
much?
I'm a fair
How much we getting
accountant,
paid for
you know?
seeing shit?
It's just royalties. It's like a quarter per,
All right, this is getting ridiculous, and I won't be a part
Your
of it.
check is in the mail.
All right, look, just to finally solve this mystery, can I go and look at it and try to get this, whatever this DC is, just try to meet it? All right. I mean, I have a plus 15 to perception. It's like
Yeah,
my
there's-
highest skill.
There's no DC. It's just a fucking.
He's
I
already
would
read
also,
off what's
Can
written.
I aid? Can I aid?
Everybody's
no
like, hey
DC.
man, this loader. Let's check it out.
All right. You want to
Everyone aid.
I
wanna know Adam, though.
I have a plus 12.
Just roll the die, Zach.
Okay.
Like
Natural 16, 21.
21.
That doesn't get it, I don't think.
No, it does.
Okay.
20 was the DC. So you're really, really taking a look at this loader machine, and you find nothing special about that. And you've frustrated throw up your hands, probably you Zeno too, just like, I know there's something there. I feel it. I don't know why, but I
Right.
feel it. I had to make a check.
There is something here.
And as you kind of turn your back on it, Orin, you see in the corner on the other side of the bay a pile of oily rags with like something kind of poking out from beneath it.
Zeno, check that corner. There's some oily rags. Something in there.
Yeah, you like touching trash.
I was gonna say,
I mean, I'm just thinking back to the good old days.
Remember the pipes.
Yeah, this wouldn't be his first Odeo.
Cough, cough, jam.
Yeah, if I'm going to be doing that, I'm going to go ahead and just cast psychokinetic hand. You know.
Okay, there you go.
I'm so proud of you.
So yeah, you pull the thing out, and once the oily rags kind of fall off of it, and it brings it over to you, you see hovering in front of you a traction holster. It's a flat metal plate, looks like a simple rectangle about a foot long, with like a clip that can be either attached to your belt or maybe used as an armband. And what it does mechanically is, as a full action, you can activate a traction holster by pressing a long arm, one-handed melee weapon, small arm, or piece of equipment no more than one bolt flat against it, creating a quasi-magnetic bond with the weapon. Only one weapon at a time can be paired in this way. Thereafter, when you drop the weapon, or it would otherwise land adjacent to you, it is automatically drawn into the traction holster as though you had spent a move action to sheath or holster it. It operates until it runs out of charges or until you take a full action to break the connection between the traction holster and its current weapon by holding down a small reset button. It has a capacity of 80, and it uses 10 of that 80 per minute.
Okay. That's pretty
Jesus.
cool.
Yeah.
So it's something you'd want to activate before combat. You know,
kind of
Yeah.
flavor. Yeah. It's flavor.
I mean,
that's
that
not flavor
could
at
be-
all, dude. Like,
No.
no, that's big. That's very
Like-
advantageous. You just have to be thinking about it before you get in combat,
Yeah.
because it takes a full round to do. And then you just turn it off, and it can be recharged. You know, so
I mean, example, Ziva could use that for her pistol, because like when she could swift action call the blade, so
just drop the pistol, and the
Yeah.
pistol just goes
Yeah.
like right to her hip.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
For sure.
Nobody else? All right, Ziva. Looks like you are the proud owner of a new traction holster. That's a level 7 item, y'all.
Ooh,
yeah,
Damn.
that's great.
exciting!
But that's all that's in here.
Awesome.
Is that.
Wow, all that. Okay.
And you know what? It's so good. This is fine. This is wonderful. And Ziva's is kind of like, oh, it's fancy.
You're welcome.
Good job. Good job, all. Yes.
All right. Well, I think we have an Aslanti base to raid.
How is everybody health wise? Sedona was like healing up. Was that accurate?
Sedona took a serum, and she's about full.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So then,
I mean, there's only one door up there, right?
Correct.
Like up there around the corner. So, where else can we go but there?
Yeah, Oren's already walking to the door underneath the catwalk. Let's rock and roll. That's the only way to go.
All right. Sedona will follow you, Oren.
And up ahead should be the security center from what Ario told us.
Hold on. Isn't there? Yeah, like from on the catwalk, there's another door, right? Up top.
Yeah, but we can't all get up on the catwalk.
Yeah, there's no way up because it's 20 feet up. But Mike, you can certainly see to the south, and then if you were to take if you were to go east, once you hit the wall, there's a small set of stairs that does lead down into a smaller door.
Yeah. I mean, from the catwalk, I'm like, hey, hold up, let me check something real quick. I'll yell if I run into trouble.
checking the doors for traps.
I'll attempt to check the door for traps.
All right, Ziva and Zeno, where are you guys? Just hanging out in the vehicle bay, or?
Sorry, I was writing a note. No, I would have
No,
followed them up. Also,
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
just FYI, I have like 50 feet of cable line if we have to scurry up the catwalk.
Okay, so Mike,
Nice.
you
Yeah.
you see this little door here. Here, you roll a perception.
Probably not gonna do well at it, but I'll try. Yeah, that's a 6.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it and you're like, oh, this looks like a door.
Yeah, this is definitely a door. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna try to go in the door.
All right,
I don't see no traps.
The door opens. You actually, you were kind of surprised. You assumed it would have been locked, but you imagine that maybe that it's unlocked because this is where the guy the kind of leader of the last crew went back here to recover a little bit.
Okay.
Because if you remember, he came back up these stairs at you.
Yeah.
And so you know that this is where he must have gone, as there's nowhere else for him to go. So you find yourself in the security center. There's a large terminal stands within the center of this irregularly shaped room, flanked by twin viewing stations plastered with monitors that rapidly shuffle between different scenes elsewhere within the facility. 2 double doors exit to the north and the south, while smaller doors lead east and west.
Okay. I like pop back out over to where they are by the catwalk, and I'm like, looks like a security station type thing.
Is there any way you can get me up there?
Yeah, the captain said she's got some cable line, right?
Yes, and she'll pull it out and kind of like toss it up to you.
Yeah, toss it up to me. I'll secure the cable so you can climb up.
I think those are athletics checks.
They are.
Okay, I can do that.
23.
I mean, do we need everybody up here? I figured just get a computer person up here to check out the security.
Yeah,
shit.
that's all I was going for.
Don't split the party, man.
Yeah,
Come
no,
on,
let's
bro.
split the party.
We were already
yeah,
split.
everybody's
I was
already up there except for me, goddammit.
Just go ahead and roll it then.
I ain't gonna be fucking down here by myself.
Hold on, what did everybody roll?
23.
Okay, you're up.
9.
23.
Okay, Ziva, Oren, and Fel are up. Zeno, you can stay. Sedona's like, I mean, is this what we're doing? Do we not want to just try to go through the door?
I mean, Sedona, I think it makes sense for me, at least, possibly me and Zeno, to go up and check the security room out, see if there's anything we can see, any information we can gain from being up there.
Yes, I just... Oh, okay, my circuits don't fire as quickly as they used to in my younger age, so...
Well,
I think
defer
actually
to
I'll
you.
stay down here to actually protect Sedona, just in case.
yeah, it'll just be a minute.
Yeah.
As Ziva sees kind of like their hesitation and everything, she's like, okay. She says, well, I'll just stay here on the catwalk, so it's kind of high ground in between. Keep an eye out on everything.
Okay.
And she'll pull out her pistol.
Okay. So Fel, you can put yourself up on the catwalk. Ziva, you can put yourself up there. Oren.
He'll also just chill up here. You know what I mean? Just kind of taking the high ground.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, Fel, you make your way down. You can see the stairs that go down to where Mike's at. You see the same security center, and you see the doors to the north and the smaller doors to the east and west, and then double doors to the south.
Yeah, so Fel's going to see all these computers here and just kind of take a step back and lean against the wall, lower his head, close his eyes, and like he was doing on the ship, however many, I don't know how many episodes that was, like he's typing on his thighs, do a remote hack on these computers and see what he can do without actually touching them.
Okay. We'll roll the check then. Roll the
Computers.
yeah.
Okay.
What are the rest of you guys doing out in the hall while Mike and Fel are investigating the security center?
Kind of regretting climbing up that rope. I don't know if that was a good idea or not. He says to Ziva, just kind of as an aside.
That's pretty funny.
Ziva kind of whispers back. She's just like, well, at least we have the high ground. We can warn our android friends if something shitty starts to happen. It's good. It's fine. It's fine.
You say so,
She
Captain.
says more to herself.
Okay, Fel.
That was a
What'd you get?
31 on that roll.
All right, so you remote hack, and you immediately see that the terminal is protected by a shock grid, which you disable,
Sweet.
and you have gained full access to the computers here.
Extra sweet.
And you see like a whole catalog of folders of modules, data modules that are here. I mean, there's several. There's one that says Aurelos map. There's one that says Royal Venture. There's one that says Rune Drive Research. There's one that says Sardat Zolan Ulivestra personal data. There's one that says SV.
SV?
Solon Ulivest. No, that's a U. Sorry. The vest part.
So yeah, you kind of get the sense that you've hit kind of a jackpot of information here.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I want to transfer all that information to my exocortex, if possible, and
you also see that it controls the all the doors on this level.
okay. So locks, unlocks, whatnot. Mm-hmm. Let's just go ahead and unlock all the doors. Is there a way to force them to stay unlocked, like somebody else can't like lock them back manually?
Yes and no. I mean, you can certainly put your. I mean, you got a pretty high computers check, so the only way somebody could beat that is if they beat your computers check.
Gotcha. So Fell's going in and he's changing passwords. He's, screwing with user accounts and just messing up.
You see that the password is "Where's the coffee?"
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
But that is a password for 2 cells that are beyond the south door, 2 containment cells.
Okay.
You see that's a spoken password for the force fields that wall those off.
Gotcha.
The rest of you hear the kind of hydraulics of the locks disable in the hall. That door is certainly able to go through.
Sweet. But yeah, so Fell's going to take a look at the...
So you're able to download all the data. What we could probably argue is that your exocortex doesn't necessarily have a way to visualize that data.
Sure.
You know what I mean, for the group, but you certainly have it all on your exocortex, which you could then plug into any kind of monitor or holovid or anything like that if you wanted.
Yeah.
But it's you have the info. Let me go ahead and give you the map so you can make a call of what you want to do.
Okay. So yeah, it's guessing it Fell and Mike go back to the group.
Well, I mean, Mike would, before we did anything, probably press you on, do we have, video access to try and see, where is my old man?
Do we?
I mean, if you want to take some time to look at the security feeds, you can. That's a separate check, because they're, kind of flickering. Not flickering, but you know how a lot of security feeds...
They're crappy.
Well, they're not crappy, but they're it shows one scene and then cuts to another one. Does rotates through.
Oh, I can't just change camera, change camera, change camera, change camera. Manually?
It seems as if the Sardat was a little cheap.
Okay.
He went back to 2003 and got a camera system.
Yeah, right.
We can only watch one part of this place at once.
Well, there's just quite a few cameras, as you guys have noticed, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot. But go ahead and either roll an engineering or perception, your choice.
Here, if you're gonna do engineering, I'll aid you. Okay, I aid with a 16.
Sweet. And I'm gonna need it because I rolled a 1. So that's a 16 plus his 2 would be 18.
Ooh, it's just kind of all over the place. I mean, you can see that it's just shooting, it has shots of all the various places, but nothing really stands out to you.
Yeah,
So at this point, Oren is what's taking him so long? And he'll march down into the security room what's the holdup, boys? We got places to be.
he's trying to check some footage, looking for his dad.
We're trying to figure out where that place to be is.
So Oren glances at the camera and rolls a perception check. Or glances at the screen and rolls a perception check.
Okay.
And that's going to be a 26.
26. Okay. You see on one of the feeds a device that you believe must be the rune drive. And you can see that it's currently being studied by several scientists, 3 to 4.
Do any of them appear to be Vesk?
No.
Can I
roll one more perception check as you study it even further? You know, like, has this caught your eye? And so you're kind of looking to see if there's any...
19.
Yeah, no. So what you get is, you know, you can certainly see the hallways that you guys walk down, and you can see the different angles that you probably flipped the 3 dead Aeon guards in the hallway off with. But yeah, the main thing that stands out to you is that there's this like big containment chamber that the rune drive is in, and that there's these scientists working on it.
Wait, but okay, so that, I guess the wording of it is confusing to me. Didn't you also say there were some containment cells, like holding cells for people? Mm-hmm. We don't have access to those.
There's
that's where's the coffee.
But we don't have
he's
like, video access.
No, there's no video.
Okay,
No.
I'd be willing to bet that's where he's at if he was fomenting unrest.
Guys, the rune drive is definitely here. It flashed by in one of those cameras. I know it. It must be it. There were scientists all around it.
Was it up for long enough that Fel would have been able to relate potentially, or is there a way to see which camera is currently on the feed and then relay that to the map, or like to see where that is on the map?
Well, have you looked at the map?
I don't see it. It's not on my screen.
That should be in your journal.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So yeah, as he mentions that, you kind of pull up the map on the screen.
Okay, yeah,
You
I
know,
see
still
it.
remote hacking, and you pull up the map on the monitor, not the security feed, but on the computer console monitor. And yeah, you can, and so Oren and Mike, that means you can see it now. And it's a layout of this floor, and you can see that not far from here is the rune drive testing area. What you also see on the map is that there are 3 different unlabeled labs, or at least directions to 3 unlabeled labs.
Sure enough, we're right around the corner from the rune drive.
Yeah, I
testing.
mean, from where we are, we just head right around the corner, follow the catwalk, and it's right there, guys. It's just through that wall.
So do we got like any idea schematically like where those holding cells are?
Not really. Looking at this map, no. It's, I mean, maybe in one of the other labs, or
So it's directly south.
Oh,
of
it's
you.
it's
like
those
this
right
room,
there.
Like a
well, shit. All right, yeah. Fel's gonna poke his head back out to the corner, or walk back out onto the catwalk, and as he's on his way by, Mike and Orange says, "I'll be right back. We need to let the other guys know what's going on."
Okay, I'm just gonna have to pause, but there's like literally a doorway on the ground floor that goes north into a hallway that goes to the doorway that they're waiting at.
All right. Let me back up. So, Fel, looking at the map, is going to go out another doorway that we haven't been through yet, turn left.
The northern one?
Yeah, the northern one. Turn left, and open the door where the rest of the party is waiting. And, hey, guys, we can all actually just get to the security room right here. We didn't have to go up the catwalks or anything. But,
Well, look, supposed to and what we did, they're 2 different things. So we like to make our own way in this world. So, you know, Ziva's just really trying to make herself.
some of us try and pole vault with
climb
tridents.
the rope. Well, okay, you miss all of the shots that you don't take. So let's fucking go. All right, let's go. And Ziva will walk down the catwalk, you know,
Yeah.
because she's not going to jump
That
down.
makes sense. And then Sedona says, "Come on, Zeno, let's go."
So, yeah, when they all
Hey guys.
get into the room, Fel is going to put up on the big screen the map of this place so they can all get a good look at it. So there's some cells just through this door, and he points at the door in front of him that don't really know who's in them or what, but that little note you found with "Where's the coffee?" That's the password. The rune drive is up to the north end. I mean, hell, it's even on the fucking map. Like, it's here. The 3 other labs, I don't know if there's anything worth going to go look at, going to check to see in any of them, but, I mean, we got the whole layout of this floor at least.
Well, the anticipation is killing Mike. The possibility that his dad might be through this fucking door. So he's going to want to go. Okay, all right, can we go check these cells now?
Right behind you.
Hang on just a second. Sorry. All this data that you've got in your brain, did you tell us about that?
Not yet.
Okay. All right, then. Let's go.
Because the doors have been unlocked, you're able to quickly open them and move into the next area, which there you see. Let me scroll to it. A few mysterious stains mar the floor of this otherwise barren room. A pair of brilliant, translucent fields of energy pulse to the east and west, cordoning off 2 simple holding cells. A control panel is mounted on the wall next to each cell's entrance. In the eastern cell, you see a Vildiraro. And I'm going to blow this up because I want you guys to
see. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what Valderrama looks like.
Oh, it's a squiggle puppet. Okay, cool.
It's an eldritch horror is what it is.
I mean, so what it is for our listeners is it's a kind of like a blue cylinder that has a bunch of small tentacles coming off of it, but it's not as scary as all of the eldritch horror. It just looks kind of weird. It looks like a squid blob, which
it looks like a goo, like an actual one of those goos, but with the tentacles.
For some reason, I see it as a space version of the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
It's not what I see at all.
I'm going to show you the full picture. It's got
he's got a diaper.
Okay. It does.
So, I don't even know.
So yeah, you just see this. I mean, does somebody want to try to describe that? I don't know how to.
Nope.
So it's like a blue blobby type creature, has 3 appendages. Don't know if they're actually legs or if they're tentacles or just ooze in the shape of kind of tentacly looking limbs. That looks like it's wrapped in a diaper. Its upper body is kind of round and has 2 wavy, long, kind of, was it a squid that has the flat suction cups?
Yeah.
But they're not suction cups. It's just kind of like the flat waviness of the squid's feelers.
Okay.
And it's almost like
So-
It's got much smaller tentacles that make a tentacle beard.
yeah, like
Look, this
tiny
is what
little
it
feeler
is.
tentacles that are almost like whisker-like. And then
If
very
you-
bright green eyes with a face that looks a little bit like Zoidberg.
Yeah.
Look, if you made a starfish out of Play-Doh and then you took it and you squished it, that's what this is.
So these are all
wrong.
great terms for the layman, but let the expert handle this. I'd like to roll a life science on that bitch.
Oh, would you now?
Oh shit!
Would you now? All right, go ahead. Do it.
Okie doke. Let's see. 14. So where's my this? 13 and 14. That is going to be a 27.
Okay, that is gonna get it. And give me a second while I look up the information that you need here. Okay, so you first of all you can determine that it is a female. She is a female, and that they evolved from the sea, but then developed their civilization on the land. Their bodies, sentiments, and structures all bear totemic representations of their ancestors and spirits. Generally, when they're with each other, they lie flat on the ground as their most natural state, but in mixed company, they remain upright, standing on 3 legs. A downward pointing beak works as a mouth for intake of sustenance and communication, and then fine tentacles that fold into a central crown can be used for tactile manipulation. Interesting enough, you know that this is a female because Vilderaros have no male sex.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So they're all asexual.
Immaculate conception,
Well,
a lot of them.
They're female that give birth to asexual young that mature into females. Yep.
I see. Okay. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and relay that to the party. And just like, oh.
Meanwhile, she's just looking at you out of her kind of big green eyes very warily.
Orin will say in Aslanti, "Hey, you in the cell. You speak Aslanti?"
All right, here we go.
Yes. Who are you and why are you here?
Well, come on now. A little late for that.
It's only the beginning for me. I don't know you.
Fair enough. We're the people who may or may not break you out of this Aslanti shithole.
All right, roll a diplomacy check.
Okay, sure, yeah. I got a +5. Natural 20. Natural 20.
Holy shit.
25 on the diplomacy.
Nice.
She says,
Well, if you're going to let me out of here, now is the time. Thank you.
Well, hang on now. I didn't even get your name.
My name is Murglebow.
Wait. You're that Murgle Bear.
No, it's Murglebow.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said Murglebear. I'm at Murglebow.
All right, guys. We'll fucking see you, okay? All right. We want to split hairs here.
So
Well,
glad
it's
you fucking
important
talked.
to me because this is my name.
Hey,
What is
Captain.
your name?
Listen, you want to take this one over? I'm getting a little flustered over here.
His name's Aaron.
Aaron. That's a lovely name for a human.
Fel's grinning from ear to ear.
Orin
and, like, looks at Orin.
is just like mean mugging this shit out of Fel, giving the grumpy cat face. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's enough, boys. Murgleborg.
Murglebow.
Is that close enough?
No,
Hello?
I need you to get it exactly, please. Murglebow.
Once more, please.
Murglebow.
His name.
Murgleborg.
Is
Much better.
Wonderful. Now that all of the phonetics are
What
done.
is your
Hello, my
name?
name is Ziva. Nariko Ziva Rajni, Madam of the Pools of Paradise, Captain of the Able Tracer, and we are your,
That is
freers.
quite a long introduction.
That is, I am known for this, but no, you know, and I'm sorry, Emily is having a brain fart. Who is she tight with?
She's part of the rebellion. Like, she's part of the uprising within the scientists
Android
and stuff,
abolition.
right?
No, yeah.
She's with Aeon.
Yeah.
right?
She's allied with Rupert.
with Rupert. Yeah.
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 My name, I don't mean to cut you off, Captain. I'm Titanium Mike, Michael
That
Agamas.
is quite a name, Titanium Mike. It's not often that I hear somebody use an element as their name. As a scientist, I very much like this.
Well, the more important fact is that my last name is Agamasan.
Oh, there's somebody here named Agamo-san as well.
Yeah, I think that's my dad. And that's,
Oh, I can see the resemblance.
yeah, well, I'm trying to find him. You know where he's at?
Last I saw him, he was at work at one of the labs below.
Which one?
I don't know. Unfortunately, they keep us separated.
How long have you been in this holding cell?
It has been a few days. I was put in here because my beneficent employers saw fit to teach me the lesson that disobedience is poor for one's health. They have us working day and night trying to understand this blasted ancient Aslanti tech, and I had the temerity to suggest we might be a little bit more cognate if we could take a break now and again.
This ancient Aslanti artifact that you speak of, is this... Did you hear anything about it being called the Rune Drive?
Oh, yes, of course. This is what we've been slaving over for the last year. Or few weeks, rather. I'm sorry. Time is a circle.
It's alright, it's all
And
mushing
time is
together.
Yes, it is very nearby. It has been hooked up to a massive computer. A control harness running every test conceivable, while the rest of us attempt to unravel individual aspects of its function. Most inefficient. Only the Aslanti scientist, watched over by that haughty Liviana, ordained pure enough to get a close look at it.
Tell me more about this hottie.
No, haughty. As in stuck
Haughty,
up.
haughty.
Yeah, Haughty.
That's what she
Fell
Oh,
disappointed.
Although by typical human standards, she would be considered attractive, I think, yes.
Yes, I don't think the Aslanti are one to suffer ugly ducklings.
This seems true in my experience as well.
What? Mikkel, I know that you are wanting to get to your father immediately. What can you tell us about the dormitories, the place where we might be able to find Rupert?
Well, I don't think that you will find him in the dormitories for quite some time.
Sorry, I misspoke. The lab. I'm very, very
Well,
tired.
as I told you, they have been keeping us separate in the different labs. It's just quite inefficient, as we cannot compare our findings together.
So is everyone working on the Rune Drive, or is certain labs working on different projects?
We are all working on different aspects of the Rune Drive.
Okay.
Yes, the Sardat has made it clear that this is the only function of this research facility right now.
Well, so could you potentially tell me what aspects are the different labs working on? Do you know?
Well,
Roll a diplomacy check.
Can I aid since I've
You
been
can
talking?
roll it, and Michael can aid.
Man, I'm so glad y'all are rolling the diplomacy checks. I got a -1 on that shit.
So I rolled an 11, so that's a 26.
I do
Did you
not.
aid?
Nope.
Okay. 26 will be enough to continue to move the status from friendly to helpful.
Ooh.
And Murglebur says,
well, I feel like I can trust you, but please lower this force field first.
I immediately say, "Where's the coffee?"
and the force field
It's back in the Epic Tracer.
goes down.
Yeah, thank you. We'll have a cup later.
Yes, well, now that I know we are all on the same team, I can tell you that I do know what the different laboratories are. We have been forming a bit of a resistance with the other non-Aslanti scientists that are here. We have been doing our best to compare our notes, so the heart of the matter is the Rune Drive. There are 3 labs: the Bend Travel Lab, the Field Stability Lab, and the Power Dynamics Lab.
Okay. So,
Zolan believes he can have all the glory for himself by keeping his scientists from sharing information between each other. But he has forgotten that giving a group of scientists all the pieces of the puzzle and telling us not to solve it is quite foolish. Many of us have determined much about the rune drive's nature by filling in the blanks. Of course, none of us have informed Zolan as of yet. But after all, where would we be if we were no longer useful?
She pauses for a brief moment. Dead is where we would be.
Good one.
I had to think that one through.
Look, I've got a question for you. All right. I haven't seen my father in years, since I was a little boy. I know he was good at working on armor and weapons and, the like. I've got no idea which one of these labs his skill set would most be tailored to.
Is there any way I could do like
idea?
an engineering check to like intuit? Because personally, I think probably power dynamics.
She says, in answer to the question that Mike asked.
That was my leading.
Yes, as I said, we have been in communication with each other. I can tell you that Rupert is in the power dynamics lab. However, it is very difficult to get into any of these labs, as Zolan has taken extra security measures to make sure that we cannot access them.
I mean, I've got pretty much full control of that security room back there. Is that where
you
he's been doing it from?
But you do not. As you see, he has put in extra measures that not even the security has access to.
That's good to know.
When you say extra meters, like doors or like
I mean,
guards?
more difficult locks than normal. But they would be locks that could be measured in a form of scientific measurement called a DC.
Like if you had to put a number on it, probably probably above 30.
Like a difficulty check or something, right?
Yes, I think that you, my android friend, might understand what I mean when I say difficulty check.
Ah, yes, I understand this perfectly. You speak my
I
language.
mean, I understand the concept of it, but...
No, he writes these checks all the time, all the simulations.
Now, I do have a question for you, Merkelbear.
Yes, please.
I understand your frustration. I have had similar circumstances in the past, and knowledge only bears fruit through collaboration. But does Zolan Ulivestra, do they frequent this lab constantly, or do they usually let others do the work
I
and
believe
report their findings?
that he had some pressing matters to deal with back on New Thespera. But he will be back. He will leave his precious project alone for too long. Not that he knows the first thing about in-dimensional propellants.
I know, you can't really expect any normal person to understand about interdimensional propellants. I mean, if I tried to explain it to any of these...
Dimensional. N.
Yes.
As in the letter N.
Oh, I
Dimensional.
apologize. My Aslanti is not perfect.
Well, that is
As in
okay.
November.
Yeah, as in Nurgriga.
Nancy.
If you want to... Well, what is your
Intent with the rune drive.
Get it out of Aslanti hands.
Or maybe destroy it. We're not sure yet.
No, I mean,
We wish to abscond with it.
Ziva, this thing is too good of a... It's too good of a find. I mean, to not have to rely on the drift to travel, like, come on.
Well, I can tell you this. I believe that if I were to gain access to a specialized datapad by the stuck-up Oliviana, I could
combine the current research from all 3 labs and download it onto the datapad. With all that, I should be able to get the root drive working. I think.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So we got to take out the hottie.
Yes.
Don't we have
Do
her?
not we already have her database?
You have.
Try to break
You
into
have
it?
her journal.
Well, shit, okay. Sorry.
This is the most official datapad.
It's her work phone.
The
You know what I'm
journal's
saying? It's her
like-
work
yeah.
phone. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have her diary. We're looking for her work iPad.
If there's nothing else, I would like to return to my dormitory to get some rest.
Megaboat, wouldn't you want to leave this place?
No.
Or
There's a puzzle that remains to be solved.
it's fair. I get it.
I think this goes without saying, but don't leave town.
I won't, since I have no right to leave. I'm just.
She just said she didn't want to leave town.
Help me solve this puzzle and then take me with you.
That's the plan.
And she looks to you, Michael, and her big green googly eyes kind of bouncing around, and it's like hard to like make eye contact with her because they're just kind of always moving.
Oh, no.
You can tell that she's like looking at you.
She says, Michael, no, I'm sorry. Titanium Mike, names are important after all.
Yeah, I mean, Murgle Bear.
Yeah,
Rupert. Oh, that's
Sure,
lovely
Muggle Bear.
pronunciation. Not perfect, but better. No,
I want to tell you.
Rupert and I have become great friends. Please make sure that you find him. I am afraid that he will be killed.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
Be careful and be wise. There is an Aslanti specialist here
Who is planning many traps?
as I overheard him say
We know.
to the security guards.
Yeah, I got caught in one already. We know
But
he's
did you
around.
happen to hear anything specific about these traps he's setting? Maybe when you overheard these?
Well, the only specifics that I heard must have already been dealt with since you are standing here before me. He had instructed them to set up an ambush for you. I'm sure
Yeah, we got that.
he has more tricks up his sleeve. New friends, please protect your brains. They are your most valuable. They are your most. They are your most
He lost me!
valuable organs.
At first I thought he said braids. I was like, I don't have braids.
Fell runs his
Ziva
hands through
clutches
his
her hair like, okay.
Yeah, Fell runs his hand through his hair and is just like, maybe I could do a braid.
Not yet. You gotta grow it out.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. Also,
It's
like,
Marvin the
this is
Martian's
Jonathan.
cousin or something. You know?
I know, yes.
But where is the big kaboom? Yes, well, if that is
Shattering kaboom.
if that is all, I am quite tired, and I would like to retire to my room.
Thank you for your
Yes,
help.
well,
Seriously, it means
I
a
will
lot.
say
If I
that
can
they
save
will
my dad.
notice my absence. So, you have about 10 hours to complete this mission. And with that, I must bid you kapapata. Go.
Oh god, she's having a stroke.
Okay, we'll see ya.
We'll see you, McGraw.
We'll fucking see ya.
Murgover.
Murgle Bear.
Murgle Bear.
That's a flub on Josh, not Fel. Fel would have got it.
And that's about all I can do for that character's voice for right now. So
You did good, Adam. You did good.
I've been practicing that all week.
Superman does
Did
it.
great.
Just been in the car driving to work going, no,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah. And like, I was
Listening to
doing
other
it-
podcasts, talking them back. It was
I was
insane
doing
with
it
that
at
voice.
home, and Grace came.
Grace probably fucking hates
Well,
you.
she didn't. She wasn't home at first, and then she came home and like kind of caught me in mid practice. And she's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Don't worry about it. It's
for the show, man. It's for the show.
No, she knew immediately that it was for the show. You know.
Yeah.
So Adam, that's your new sexy voice, huh?
Yes, this is how I get all the ladies. Ziva, your new battle dress is quite stunning.
Oh, Margot,
You're making me blush.
Okay.
Wait, so did we figure out
No.
which
Yeah,
lab is
three.
the
Lab
power
three.
dynamics lab?
No.
So that's-
no.
Okay,
You're making false correlations.
Oh,
Just because I listed them in that order doesn't mean that that's the order that they're labeled.
that they're listed on the map.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yup.
All right, so yeah, Murglebur heads off, makes her way to the elevator, leaving you with quite a few data modules. Josh, Fel has all those, and you kind of haven't really relayed to the party yet either what you got. So what do you want to do? Ball is in your court.
So Fel is going to go back to or just remote hack where he is, just close his eyes and like tap something on with just one hand on his thigh real quick, and close the door that Sedona is standing near and lock it,
Okay.
giving us like a safe place to talk for a while, for a little bit, and potentially take a long rest if we need it. And we'll relay to everybody that. So guys, on top of just the map that I showed you earlier, these computers, this system here had a couple different data files that, I mean, I think you guys might all be interested in. But we got the Royal Venture. These are all just the names of them. Rune Drive Research, Eula Vestra's personal data, and a file that's just called SV. Just 2 letters.
I like those last
Yeah,
two.
well, I'm kind of curious about what they've got on the Royal Venture because that ship we were crawling around on however long ago on Nacondas.
That's right.
Where those
Wait.
those super zombies attacked us.
Did Josh just remember something from book 1?
He did. I did.
He sure
Whoa,
did.
dude. Wow. You know what? Take an inspiration.
Oh,
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, snap.
Hell yeah, man.
That ginkgo biloba.
No. Listen, we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. There's a reason that Josh particularly is getting an inspiration for remembering something.
Because I'm terrible at that.
Yeah, because you suck at it. So I reward good behavior.
Well, it's an even better reward. I
What?
got one for my personal deck.
nice.
Oh, shit.
Sweet.
First personal card. You've gotten personals before, but
Yeah.
this is your first personal card. Let me put it up there so you can draw from it. You have a few that might pop up. Go ahead and draw you one.
All right. Draw 1 card. Boop. And of course, it's a bear spiration from Connor. Morristown, New Jersey. The message is, shell up, Fel. Are you going to die here and leave behind a teary emojied cuttlefish widow? I didn't think so.
Well,
Well, see about
Well.
that.
Well,
we'll see you.
Well, hey, here's to having my first, and of course, Barry would be the one to pop that cherry, my first personal inspiration.
yeah, phrasing. Okay.
Believe me, it was entirely intentional.
I know, Josh. I know. Okay. So you have those data modules. The Royal. I know.
Y'all just go ahead and
make a
fuck
separate
already.
podcast. Get it off this one. People will listen, I'm sure.
I'm sure they would.
All right, so you have the 4 different modules. Which one would you guys like to dig into first?
Might as well just roll a D4.
Yeah, talking
Emily
out of
has
character, rune drive research would probably or potentially lead towards something towards Mike's dad.
Yeah,
Also,
Personal data might help us in this. Sorry, go ahead, Em.
sorry, have we all seen the map?
Yeah, I pulled it up for
That's
everybody.
fine.
It's in your journal. You'll have to
Okay.
find it.
Yeah, I mean, like in character. Just wanted to make sure. As you're kind of rolling that off, and Ziva's kind of like remembering, she's like SV. So this the Scions Vestry, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, that's something listed on. It makes sense. It's on the map. The Scion,
I don't know what that is,
the Scion's vestry.
Fell is data.
Ziva would definitely know what a vestry is. It's like a garment, or it's like a garment of status.
Like a ceremonial
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of. Oh, okay. Oh, like okay, like religious.
No, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's where Catholic priests change
Yeah.
into
Sorry.
their
And
priestly
a Scion
clothes.
is a descendant of a wealthy, aristocratic, or influential family, according.
Why don't we
to
start? Why don't we
Webster.
start with that one, and we'll just clear this all up right now.
Sorry.
It's okay. I say it clears up but I joke because when it opens, you just see this enigmatic 7-dot pattern appear on the screen, and I actually have a handout for that for you guys to see too.
Ooh, puzzles.
puzzles.
So it's just a black screen pops up with 7 green dots, kind of equidistant from each other, and kind of going around, a circle.
It's the star. If you connect the points, it's the Star of David.
Well, it's not the Star of David.
Ironic. Ironic.
Not quite,
God.
but just about.
But
It's a 7-point Star of David.
you draw the lines and connect, and you actually crack this visual password quite quickly.
Oh shit!
And it is a 7-point star. Now, if you'll remember, you guys rolled a religion check way back when Sedona had her
Yep.
first seizure, and she mentioned
Oh shit!
being in front of a shrine, the 7-point star, which is the symbol of an Aslanti god, goddess. The module opens and reveals that Zolan brought back another artifact from the Royal Venture. Parapet Amiandria's Aslanti Royal Battle Regalia. The Sardat notes describes the item as a rare and powerful suit of magic that predates the Gap. He goes on to say that he plans to take it as a personal prize, first stripping all traces of Amiandria's royal house insignia and replacing them with his own. He has undertaken these renovations in a place called the Scion's Vestry, which he has had sealed off from the rest of the facility to deter prying eyes. Roll a culture check, Ziva.
Can do. What? Hold on just a second.
I will
rolled
not.
poorly, but I have a thing that I can do to make that not be that. Improvisation adornment.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the improvisation adornment, and this item is usually something worn. While wearing this item, if you fail a bluff, culture, diplomacy, intimidate, or sense motive check, as a reaction, you can re-roll the check and take the better
Oh,
result.
boom. All right, re-roll that bad boy then.
Okay, let's see here.
So glad
Oh, that
that you're
beautiful
using
bean
your
footage.
loots that you found.
Yeah. Okay, well, I get to take the better result, which was the first
Oh, boy.
one. So, 7 plus 15 is how many?
22.
That's what I got.
Oren, why don't you give me a sense motive check on these notes?
Sure. I do have that skill.
Natural 18 plus 12 is a 30.
There you go. All right. You get the impression, based on some of these notes and it being hidden, so specifically, that Zolan's actions regarding this artifact are most likely going to be frowned upon in this Aslanti Star Empire, and that the Sardat is pretty aware of that fact.
Okay. I'd say that in so many words.
How many exactly?
Sardat probably shouldn't have that suit of armor. The Aslanti won't like that.
Yeah, well, and he certainly shouldn't deface it to put his own insignia on it.
I think we're going to have to recover that. Just, so he doesn't get in trouble with his superiors.
Yeah, I'm on board with you. I think it.
We need to protect the Sardat.
And blow up the rune drive.
No. We talked about this.
I'm sorry, I'm very, very confused about the direction we're moving in. We're protecting the Sardat, we're stealing some clothes. No, okay. But yes, we'll absolutely take that.
What'd you say, Josh?
I said, I think it might look better with with an APA logo on it.
Crickets.
I think so.
Oh, I was waiting for Adam's reaction.
Right. That was Fel talking. Adam doesn't react to Fel.
Yeah, he does.
Well, it's like priest's robes, right?
It's royal battle regalia, which is armor.
Okay. I mean, it seems like a Xeno piece, maybe.
Well,
we don't know anything about it. I mean, that's
at least know where he.
Yeah, that's true.
Kept it.
Yep.
You know a little bit more about it. Next module. What do y'all want to look at next?
You know the one that I want to look at, but I'm willing to go ahead.
So what do you guys think? We got his personal data. We got the Royal Venture. We got some rune drive research. What next?
Let's go personal data, then we go the ship, and then we do the rune.
Save the best for
last.
last.
All right, then, boss. And Fel puts up the personal data on the screen for everybody.
All right, so what you see when you pull that up, you open the folder, it's a video journal, like a log. And it contains a memoir-style recollection of Zolan's history. Most of what I detailed in his flashback, he talks about there but written as from his point of view, as if he's writing his memoirs. So making himself look good, but he talks about his childhood, his dreams, his relationship with his dad, his being top of the class in his studies, him getting Gulta, all that kind of stuff. The account paints him as a dutiful son, a genius, and a beloved leader. But eventually the file devolves into more of a diary than a memoir. And Zolan starts talking through his thoughts as they come to him in a more stream of consciousness fashion. And he confesses to his video blog that he has taken quite a risk authorizing the invasion, occupation, and annexation of Nikandis without formal support from the Star Empire. And while he rightly fears that bureaucratic entanglements will rob him of the glory of discovering the Royal Venture in its rune drive, he deems that the treasonous act of keeping his superiors in the dark worthwhile for the eventual betterment of the Aslanti Star Empire. Despite this risk, Zolan goes on to confidently say that once he has a working rune drive, he shall eventually stand in front of the Star Imperators to present all of his findings, believing that the magnitude of his breakthrough and discoveries shall pardon him of any indiscretions. He also states of hoping to secure a more prominent royal title in the process. The most recent entry discusses the timing of the attack on Gulta and the arrival of the Aeon Guard specialists of Andrian. While Zolan seems to welcome an ally to help protect Aurelos, he's beginning to suspect that someone in the Aeon Guard knows something about his secret research, and that Evandrian is actually on the asteroid to take the rune drive away from him and arrest him. Zolan briefly suggests that he might be able to bribe or blackmail the specialist to keep him quiet, but the Sardat dismisses the idea shortly after, realizing such an act could only further implicate him if things go poorly, or reveal himself if he doesn't actually know, and he is just here to stop you guys from destroying more Aslanti property. That's his journal. That's his personal file. That's the insight to his brain.
When was that last entry?
Yeah.
Day-wise.
So you align it up with the timeline, and it was the last entry he made before he left to go back to New Thesra. So, a week ago? Week and a half ago? I don't know. I mean, you had the exact date. I don't know the exact date, but...
Yeah, gotcha. Seems like this Zolan is a bit on edge. Maybe possibly a little bit of a sociopath, even more so than a normal Aslanti. Interesting.
Looks like his hubris is about to bite him in the ass.
Certainly a narcissist.
So next we're going to the Royal Venture. This module contains restored schematics of an ancient Aslanti starship, the Royal Venture, which was owned by Parapet Amandria. While most of the technology seems out of date, the blueprints detail an experimental technomagical engine that incorporated as part of its power source an Aeon stone from the Aeon throne itself. Accompanying documents which name this engine the rune drive suggest that this radical propulsion system could move distant points in space closer to one another for a brief second while hopping the attached vessel across the intervening space. These notes appear mostly theoretical and incomplete, and they don't detail exactly how the rune drive works, but rather make bold claims without referencing actual science. Why don't you give me a physical science check, Zeno?
Absolutely.
Go ahead and roll it with a +4.
All right.
God dang tessering.
Okay, so that is a 3 + 4. I rolled low. So that's 7 + 15. That is going to be a 22.
22. All right. Yeah, you get the sense that, I mean, just
hold
looking
on.
at these
Tip of the tongue. I do have a reroll skill check to recall knowledge before a learn result.
You're good. You're good.
Okay. All right. Never mind.
You can just suss out that these notes were not using any kind of scientific theory or approach. That, as I said, it's very bold claims without actually using the scientific method to back them up. However, one thing that you can take away for sure is that the rune drive is incorporated with Aeon stones from the Aeon throne itself. That part,
that's pretty
factual.
cool.
That is really cool.
As an aside, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I dig that. So yeah, I go ahead and convey that to the rest of the group.
And so then, of course, it makes sense to dig into the rune drive research.
Right.
Okay, so this module contains the research schedule Zolan expects his scientists to follow, with cross-reference that states that the Royal Venture data module has information about the rune drive's history. You can read how, claiming a need for secrecy, the Sardat set himself up as the only individual privy to the data discovered from each of the facility's 3 laboratories. Zolan's notes state that he is certain his teams are close to completely discovering the rune drive's secrets, and that at the next possible occasion, he will set up a test of the rune drive. He mentions that his lead scientist, Oliviana, holds the specialized datapad that he will use to integrate all the information from the different labs for download into the control harness built around the rune drive. And that is everything on the computer.
All right.
Interesting.
I'd love to know more. Okay.
Zeno sees the Aslanti trying to achieve this goal that he's been trying to achieve his whole life and sees they're using fucking gobbledygook and no science at all. It's like, my life's work is fucking hogwash.
At least in the hands of the wrong people.
Yeah. So what next, guys? You just got a huge information dump. On top of all of that, you have a general idea of where Rupert is, but you also know where the rune drive is, and you know that there are scientists working on it, and that Oliviana is kind of overseeing the whole rune drive project in Sardat's absence. And that you have about 10 hours before shift change, What do you do?
You guys want to take a look at that rune drive?
Absolutely.
I mean, we could either look at the rune drive or see if we can figure out where Mike's dad is.
I want to find my fucking dad.
And, I mean, hell, Lab 3, or on the map at least, Lab 3 is, we got to go past the rune drive to get to it, so if he's back there, then,
Two birds, one stone.
See what happens when we go through there. Yeah.
Oh.
What do you think, Captain?
Yeah. Ziva's like, let's go with this a little more tactically. Tactfully.
Tactically.
Got it, nailed it in one. And she's kind of looking at the map. She says, we're right here in this security center, sorry to the south. If we just pop right up and go over to this lab, this sort of far south, maybe we can knock out this whole area and sort of assess things before we move into the more, well, let's be honest, dangerous. Where the rune drive is.
We can follow this catwalk up to that main lab.
Yes, the rune drive. That is where that is, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
That seems like we're biting off a little bit more than we're ready to do. But maybe that's just me. Maybe you guys are a little more gung-ho than I am.
Fel checks the cameras again to, flip it over to the rune drive or points at it as it cycles over to it. And I believe you said there are, 4 scientists working on it currently?
Correct.
So, look, I don't see any on the camera footage. I don't see any guards over there. But there's no telling what's around the corners,
There's extra security, as was mentioned earlier. So.
Well, to the labs themselves.
Into the labs.
Yeah, so think of it this way. On the map, labs 1 and 3, you have to pass by the rune drive to get to. Lab 2 is open, from where we are, an easy, path of access. So, and this is extreme metagaming, but due to that map design and layout, I don't see the rune drive itself being a be-all, end-all, we're done with this area type thing, Because there are 4 scientists there. They may be part of the resistance. They may, be somebody that can help us with the other areas in the lab like Murgleburr was.
So which is Lab 3 the one that Mike's dad's
Y'all don't
in?
know where...
Because
we
just don't know.
We know...
Well, but which one was... We should know which one is
the power dynamics, but we don't know which of the 3 labs is the power dynamics lab.
I mean, we should at least know that one of them isn't. If it's the one that Murgleburr was working in, she would know it's not power dynamics, right?
Well, a couple things. One, you failed to ask her that question while she was here. And 2, if you had, she would have told you that they were blindfolded when they're taken to their labs. It's very specifically kept very separate from each other.
Well, the humans the scientists that we see in the camera at the rune drive look Aslanti. They look human.
They look human, not necessarily
They look human, yeah.
Human.
But you also know that Murgleburr said that only Aslanti loyalists were permitted to be at the rune drive. But from the cameras, they don't look armed or anything. It's just 4 scientists,
Well, okay, so we're coming back into character. Alright, so we can see the rune drive. These 4 people. Margobar said that only the Aslanti people are allowed to go that close to it, yes? So maybe we go in, we get as much information as we can, maybe we ruffle a few feathers, take some fingers, and they tell us which of the labs is which. Yeah?
Man,
All right. I'm not gonna fucking leave without trying to find my dad. If you gotta leave me on this rock, that's what you gotta do.
No, if we get the information, we can get to your dad faster. We know which lab he is, but we just don't know which lab it is.
Sedona walks over to you, Mike, and says, Michael, I understand how you're feeling, or I can only try to, but I know it must be hard. Your crewmates will not leave you here. I know that. They were chosen by me specifically because of their dedication. I will not leave you. I'm here to see you through this. But I have to agree with the captain that until we know more information, we could be throwing ourselves into a trap. I have to think that Evandrian knows that your father is here at this point, and he knows that it's your father.
I mean, we're going into a trap no matter what we do, so let's go ahead.
Yeah, but the most information, or the more information we can get, the better. But that being said, and Fel puts his hand onto Mike's shoulder, I at least am not going to, and I suppose I can probably speak for everybody here, I'm not going to leave here with you having not been able to see and the best that we can rescue your old man. We're just not going to do it.
We got to find him, but let's find out what we can. We can't get to him now either way, so let's go.
We will
go where we gotta
reunite
go.
you with your father, Michael.
All right. Everybody into stealth mode.
So what is
I don't have one of those.
what is your plan of entry? Because as Zach pointed out, there are two different ways to get there. There's the
I'm a
catwalk, or you can
fan
go
of
through
the
the
high
hall.
ground.
So I would suggest, that's just me as a player, for one of the few times that it might actually be a good idea to split the party, have a couple people on the ground floor and a couple people pointing guns from the catwalk.
Nerdy boy on the catwalk, for sure.
The bigger tanky boys on the ground, and then the long-range shooty magic-keys up top.
Yeah, dog.
Sounds good to me.
If I'm understanding correctly, we're gonna have, I'm guessing Ziva and Mike go in ground floor in case there's diplomacy we can do.
I was thinking Mike,
Ziva,
Fel,
Mike, and
and
Fel.
Ziva on the ground, because Fel's got pretty heavy armor as well. And then have Orin and Zeno up on the catwalk. Like one on each side of it, aiming down.
Sedona in the catwalk. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do it.
And to coordinate this movement, make sure that we get up to the corner, make sure that the other guys are going up to the along the catwalk, and we all come out at the same time. Fel's going to turn off his signal jammer for just enough amount of time to be able to, radio to everybody else. Like, hey guys, we're coming up to the corner right now, and double check that they're there.
All right. So who's gonna be in front on the catwalk?
Orin.
All right. So Orin.
Checking for traps as he walks.
Sure.
That high perception.
Who's behind Orin?
Zeno.
Okay. And then Fel behind that. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Sedona.
Yep.
All right. And then Fel, Ziva, and Mike are going to go around on the ground floor, right, to approach the hallway from the south, right? So this is, do I have this lined up? I've got Orin, Zeno, and Sedona on the catwalk in the hall that connects up to the Rune Drive lab. And then I've got Fel and Mike in the front with Ziva behind to the east on the ground floor in the hallway that curves around, and they're kind of like meeting in a corner type deal, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's going to step in first, the top or the bottom?
Ziva for sure. With the muscle walking in behind her.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Which, I mean, she's behind us currently.
I mean, she'll swing around once everybody's in place, and you guys kind of give the signal.
Right. So, like,
that there's not an aggressively burly gunman up front.
Yeah. So, Arnon, I'll tell you what you see as you kind of step to the edge of the opening of this catwalk that opens up to the rune drive, and what you see is an enormous machine surrounded by metal scaffolding sits in the center of this room. It's connected to cylindrical generators and a computer console. The device hums with power as the attached computer beeps regularly, displaying a dizzying array of data. The scaffolding runs along the southern wall about 15 feet from the ground, past a desk nestled in an alcove that you can just barely see the edge of, and into a passageway leading south, which is where you are coming from. Open hallways exit to the west, north, and south, and there's a small plastic door to the northwest. You see 4 scientists engrossed in their work on this casing, which the rune drive must be inside of. And as I said, you can only see, from where you're standing right now, you can only see the bare edge of a desk that's actually up here on this level of the catwalk with you. But from what you can see here, there's no soldiers. You know, you kind of get you got a pretty good wide angle here of the room. And you don't see soldiers anywhere in this room. You don't see any soldiers to the north in the hall that your friends are in. And to the west, you can see pretty far west too, and that opens up into another large room, and you don't see anybody's in there either.
Can I roll a stealth check?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let me roll a stealth check. That's going to be a 23.
Okay, 23.
All right,
so yeah, you rolled a 23, you said, so you decide if you think that's good enough or not.
Okay. All right. Oren wants to creep 1 square up on the catwalk and sort of presses back against this wall to the left. He's going to take a look at this. He's going to just sneak along the back wall to about right here. He sees a humanoid figure sitting at that desk at this point.
You do see a woman with her hair kind of put up in a messy bun with pencils and stuff, working furiously on some sort of project on her desk. She does not look up as of now, nor do any of the other scientists working on the rune drive.
So Orn will turn and poke his head back into the hallway there, and give tactical eyes to Zeno and Sedona and point back around.
Okay.
What I want to do and what may be the smartest thing to do may not necessarily correlate here, and I'm afraid of fucking us in the ass.
Well, just do what you're gonna do, man.
What Oren would do is creep right along that wall and whip his rifle around and hold her up.
Okay. So you do that. As you step in front of her, this is
and he puts his finger over his mouth to shh, as he's pointing.
This is who you see.
Oh!
You see a woman with kind of darker skin in a gray, kind of business suit. She has a pistol on her holster, and you come around the corner with your rifle trained and just go shh, and she looks up at you. Her head snaps up at you, and she just says, "No more fucking interruptions," and she goes invisible, and we'll fucking see you.
What?
What?
Holy shit! Oh my god.
We'll see you.
Oh, wow.
What else?
Well, we're not doing the diplomacy route at all.
There's no diplomacy. She's on the catwalk. She would have seen us. If we'd have walked in and talked to the doctor, she absolutely would have seen us. I'm just saying.
That's a good point.
This bitch gotta go anyway. She's about to get shot in the face. Well, no, she's invisible.
She's about to get shot where her face used to be.
This episode has been sponsored by Roll20. This is how we roll.